This is Get to Know Alabama. Today, we are meeting with Elizabeth Adams, who is the founder and jewelry designer of Xphoto. If you have been to any of her stores in Birmingham, Montgomery, or Rosemary Beach, you know that you can spot a piece from them a mile away. Literally just the other day, I got breakfast with a friend. She walked in. I said, I know where that necklace is from. And of course, I was right. So let's go take Elizabeth some coffee and get to know her a little better. All right, I'm here with Elizabeth. Thank you so much for getting coffee with me today, talking more about Xphoto. Just want to jump right in. Is there an initial piece, like a staple piece of jewelry that really got you started?
The classic Xphoto look would be the toggle in the front with just a big, pretty Baroque pearl and a great chunky piece of chain.
Did you always have a knack for creativity?
Both of my parents are artists, and so I always say that my sister and I were both sort of raised in a long format art class. The cardinal rule in my house was that you always had to be doing something creative or productive, always making something, drawing something, dreaming something up.
Tell me how Xphoto got started.
I was living in Montgomery, Alabama. We had 3 children that were very young, and my youngest was 3 years old when she was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor in her brain stem.
Wow.
And she passed away at the end of 2007 at the age of 4. I had paused what I was doing when she got sick to totally just focus there. I was left with this big open time. Threw myself into painting. The art galleries that were carrying my art, they were struggling to sell art. And when I was talking to this one gallery owner, she said, I can really sell jewelry right now. She said, jewelry is what's keeping my doors open. And she said, what are you wearing? And I was like, oh, this is just something I just put together for myself. And it was just some of the broken pieces of jewelry that I had been using in my art that I made into a pendant. And she said, well, can you get me more of that? After a little while, I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm a jewelry designer. How did this happen? How did I get here?
Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. What a beautiful legacy of your daughter's life, too. I'm interested, where did the name Xphoto come from?
So an Xphoto is a handmade testament of gratitude that is left at an altar in a Catholic church, usually in a Latin culture. And it is a testament of gratitude for answered prayer. And I just loved the idea of it, it's left there at the altar so that the next person who comes through with a desperate prayer has hope that their prayer could be answered. So, and also I knew nobody really knows what this word means, or not many people know what this word means. And it was sort of mysterious, and we were using lots of lockets that were old, and that had a lot of mystery to it.
I know that part of the proceeds from Xphoto sales go to pediatric brain cancer research. Has it always been that way, or is that something new that you guys are doing?
No, that's definitely from the beginning. When early on in 2009, when I realized this is a business, I wanted it to be a way for our family to be able to support this amazing foundation that we were connected with. The Cure Starts Now. We do special fundraisers and special things for the foundation throughout the year.
That's why I love getting to do these interviews. I have the best job in the world, getting to learn more about these businesses that are thriving in our state, but realizing there's so much more meaning and a story behind what actually built all of this. The first store was in Montgomery. That's where your jewelry studio is. Now you're here in Birmingham. How has living in Alabama inspired your creativity?
I love natural materials, and I think that the nature that we're surrounded with that's so diverse here in Alabama definitely has informed that and kept me interested in natural materials.
What is a common misconception that you hear about Alabama?
I think maybe they think we're not very worldly, or we are very closed-minded and only know Alabama, and I wouldn't say that's true.
Can you show us, is the apparel new?
We launched the apparel in our store fall 24, and we have taken it now to wholesale, and we're in 20 different boutiques.
Can you show us some of the pieces?
Sure. This top is one. Our stores are in Alabama and in the panhandle of Florida. It has to be breezy. In the South, when in the summertime, you don't want anything to touch you. And it all needs to breathe. We work carefully with several factories in India. It's been great to work with them and to be able to really tap into the things that they traditionally are very good at. Real handmade tie-dye, embroidery, certain weaving and hand block print. And where we started was with one-of-a-kind pieces that incorporate a jewelry element that is 100 years old or more. We always are searching for vintage chain as well. Everything in these two cases is a one-of-a-kind piece that has a jewelry element that is an antique. And then we often use different vintage chain to create a new necklace base for it. So yeah, it's like all the best parts of old, with the craftsmanship that can't be replicated anymore. We just preserve the best of the past and give it a new context in a more modern presentation. And our toggle, of course, is involved in a lot of these pieces. My husband has an engineering background, and he actually is the one who said, you can connect all this together with the toggle. You can take a bracelet with a toggle of one of our toggles and connect it into a necklace of one of our toggles and use it like an extender.
Yeah.
We also create a lot of really fun charms, mixed and matched, take them on and off, we want you to live creatively. We have our own in-house machine engraving that we do. We also have a hand engraver. Oh, wow. So there's certain things that maybe you want to have hand engraved instead of machine engraved.
How do you source all the old jewelry?
I have different estate jewelers that I have contacted with and have a relationship with, and they source for me. While they're scouting, they scout for me as well. So they know the different eras that we appreciate the most.
We're going to do some rapid fire questions. Maybe you can help our followers out with some tips.
Okay.
So you go to a vintage market, you're going antiquing. What are you looking for?
First of all, you're looking for anything that just appeals to you. If it has carving, I don't want it to be too sharp and perfect because that's a newer, maybe more machine carved. I would turn things over and see if there's a country of origin, if it's made in Japan, it's very old. See if it was signed by an artist.
Yes or no question, mixing gold and silver jewelry together.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
What is the best vacation getaway spot in Alabama?
I would go to one of the lakes, get where you can see water. Mm-hmm. That's always so relaxing.
Anything outdoors.
Anything outside.
Yeah. What is the most underrated accessory?
I would say a small square scarf or bandana.
And what is one staple piece of jewelry that every woman, girl should have in their jewelry box?
I would say a statement necklace.
All right, Elizabeth, I loved getting to know you more. Thank you for sharing your story of your family with us and how it inspired Xphoto. Will you tell our followers where they can shop more of your jewelry and the clothing that's sold in your boutiques?
Sure. xphotovintage.com is our website. And then Xphoto Vintage is where you can find us on Instagram as well.
Oh, yeah. And there are stores in Rosemary Beach, Birmingham, and Montgomery. Any plans to open a fourth location?
We are just now ready to announce that we will open a store in Grayton Beach, Florida, this summer.
Thanks again for chatting with me and having coffee. I loved learning about your business. We'll see you guys next time at the next Get to Know Alabama.